anyways, first of all, I'd like to thank people for coming back to my channel. I'm here with Nick. And Nick, what website do you write for?
The MMATakeover.com.
MMATakeover.com. I'm going to try to find some links to your articles and put them in the description down below. And you can also get it at Nick on Twitter at NR...
EMTB.
NREMTB. Okay,
Yeah.
Nick is a EMT, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, I got much respect for you, man. The stuff you do and the help you provide for people, man. So that's really cool of you. I'm just a lowly salesman, man. So you know what I mean. But anyways, today we're gonna be going over the UFC 209, which is in about 11 days. We'll just start off on. We'll just do the main event. I mean, the main card. That way we can just do about 5 fights, and we'll start with. I guess I don't know if this is in order, but Overeem versus Hunt.
Yeah.
Heavyweight battle. Can you believe that? That's like the 5th on the main card, man. That's like amazing. That
right, and it's a great fight. You know what? I'm kind of mixed about this fight though, because Hunt, it's like hitting a piece of iron. Always has been. Dude's tough as nails, very durable. 12-10-1. It's a respectable record, and he's 41 years old. Overeem is like a legend. I mean, he beat Hunt in 2008. He's been 4-1 in his last 5 fights with a record of 41-15.
Yeah,
unheard of at 36 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on which Overeem shows up, man. Because when you got the right Overeem, that dude he can beat anybody. I mean, he's shown that he can beat anybody. You know,
destructive.
Yeah, he's very destructive. So, but I think I'm gonna go with Overeem on this one, just because I think Mark Hunt, you know, he's got a lot of shit going on with the lawsuit against UFC, and I don't know where his head's at. You know, I don't know where his training's at, if he's really into it anymore, but. I mean, I know if Overeem shows up, man, he can just keep, you know, if he can keep it on the outside and just pick away at Mark Hunt, kind of like, man, I'm trying to think who Mark Hunt fought that was just chopping away at him. But that's what I kind of feel like, you know, maybe Overeem can do.
I agree, and you're right with the lawsuit stuff. He even had an article out talking about suing Overeem post USADA testing. The guy's been around forever. I mean, no matter what he's doing, I don't think he's ever had a failed test. But I agree with you. I got Overeem via knockout in the 2nd round. Yeah. That's what I got to do.
I could see that very well. What I would like, though, is if would be awesome, is if Hunt did win, I would love to see that in-ring interview afterwards, what he would say. If they would censor him, or what would they, because you know he's going to pop off the mouth. And I'm like,
I don't even know. Like, they don't censor it really, but you might see the commercial. Like, you would have to be there live to get it all.
I kind of want Hunt to win just to see what the hell he's got to say. You know what I mean?
I feel like he might work his way to the microphone anyway, because sometimes the person who loses gets to talk. I think he's going to get whatever he's going to say out if the opportunity presents.
You think he's going to get a little airtime, huh? Well, yeah, I guess we're in agreement on that one. These are preliminary picks, you know, like sometimes I'll wait to the closer to the fight to see, you know, the weigh-ins, or if one guy just acts strange or something. I know that's kind of silly, but sometimes I try to pick up on things. It's worked for me and it's worked against me a couple times. You know, I've watched the weigh-ins and I'll go, man, this guy doesn't look right, and then he'll go out.
That's not silly. You see, they look like they cut too much weight. They look dehydrated. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next fight we got up is Lando Venata versus David Timur. And you know, I remember David Timur from The Ultimate Fighter. I think it was 22. Man, he just, I don't know. To me, he just didn't impress me. You know, especially in that show. I'm sure he's grown as a fighter since then, and I think he's fought twice in the UFC, and he's won both times. But I don't know, just something about him that, you know, I just haven't been very impressed. But I've been very impressed with Lando Venata, even in his loss against Ferguson and his last fight. I think that guy's he's dynamic, man. You know, he's somebody to watch out for.
Great grappler, battle-tested, and, I mean, if your only loss is to Tony Ferguson, I mean, a lot of people lose to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, for sure.
He's So I think we'll probably be in agreement on this one.
Yeah. What I like about Venata too is I think he's 9-1, but four wins for KO and 4 wins for sub. So he's well rounded. So
and that's the other thing. The other guy's mainly a striker.
Right.
While it could be an interesting fight on the feet, if it gets to the ground, I got Venata via submission in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I got Venata winning. I'm not exactly sure, but I could see a submission for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Next fight we have Rashad Evans versus Judo Dan Kelly. Kind of the two elder statesmen, if you will, of the UFC at the moment, man. I think
I really looked into this one. I did, because I like Rashad Evans.
Oh, I do too, man.
He's had a long layoff with the miscalled medical thing.
Yeah.
And doing the research, 42% of his wins are via decision.
Mm-hmm.
While Dan Kelly's 42% via submission. Rashad's 24-5. Dan Kelly's 12-1. I kind of gotta go with Dan Kelly via submission. I think I like Rashad though. I feel bad doing that.
I didn't see that coming, man. I like Dan Kelly, and I love Rashad, but this is his first time at middleweight, so I'm really he's never really I don't know how he's gonna react to being losing that much weight, man, and so I'm kind of worried, but I think Rashad's gonna get it done. I think his power will transfer, and I think he could connect on Kelly, man, because I don't think Kelly's as fast and as mobile. But and Rashad's a wrestler, so I think he might use that wrestling in reverse. Kind of how we saw Johnny Hendricks versus Lombard. Lombard's a judo player, and Hendricks used his wrestling to kind of stuff the takedowns and to keep it standing. So I think maybe Rashad, it'd be a similar fight. I think Rashad could probably get a knockout if he can find Kelly's chin. You know what I'm saying?
He's also got something to prove. He's not done, and his layoff was unwarranted.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that worries me. And plus, like you said, with the Hendricks Lombard, I had Lombard for that fight on DraftKings. So
yeah,
I mean, you've tried to figure it out by the numbers, but you know what? It's a fight.
Oh yeah,
anybody dead.
That's what I tell people when they pick fights and they get all upset. I mean, I'm like, man, that's what's so amazing about the fight game is like. You're never really wrong.
One punch.
Well, one punch. I mean, so it's so volatile. You're never really wrong. I mean, whether you pick one guy or another, I mean, it could go either way. It's not like I tell them. It's not like college football where you see Alabama going against another team and you go 90% of the time Alabama's going to win.
Right.
Like in fighting, you might go, this guy is really good and he's probably technically better than this guy, but he's human, and if he gets tapped. You're human. You're going to go out.
That's the point. I had Travis Brown.
I had
Derek Lewis, and for the whole first round, and then the Black Beast connected, and that was it.
Yeah. Hey, man, I will say Travis looked good that first round, and I thought he was going to just keep staying on the outside and take him a little bit deep, maybe 3rd round. I picked Travis as well, and I thought he was going to wear him down, and I thought, man. I picked it perfect when I saw that first round. I said, he's doing exactly what I thought he would. That second round, ooh, man, it just went south.
He had good distance.
Yeah.
He was controlling it with kicks, and then he got tapped once, and that was it.
That's what I don't remember who was saying it. I think it was Barnett or Rothwell or some of these heavyweights, man. That one's so hard to pick, man. The heavyweights, you just don't know because, like you said, they all have power. So,
all of them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go against you here. I'm gonna go with Rashad, and I think he's gonna look for a knockout or maybe squeak out a decision, like you said that a lot of his fights go to.
I went with Kelly, but I'm not happy about it. But that's what I came up with. Yeah. He's next to you, though.
Man, honestly, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here because I really don't know. Khabib Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. Pat on the back for kind of saying it almost correctly. Nurmagomedov. And man, this is the fight people have been waiting for. This is like the proving fight. Connor's off doing his thing. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. So this, in essence, is like for the best 155er right now. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. I think who out of these two guys, I think whoever wins this fight, unless they get ducked, like because he goes and fights Mayweather or something like that, I think whoever wins this fight is your next champion. Yeah.
Well, and it is for an interim lightweight, title. So who knows if they'll strip Conor or what? But this is an amazing fight. Forget Conor for now. These two dudes, I mean, they both can win in so many ways. I really don't know who to pick. I mean, Tony Ferguson, that dude he's innovative. You know what I mean, with his game and his movement. And but I mean, if I was forced to pick right now, I'm leaning Nurmagomedov. That guy's just a beast, man. Like I don't know what it is about him, But if anybody's gonna catch him in a transition, like if he's taking you down or something, and Tony Ferguson those long limbs, and catch him in a Darce or I don't know, it could be Tony Ferguson. But
see, I like this. For me, I got Ferguson via submission in the 4th round.
Oh wow!
I think as it gets into the championship rounds, I just think Ferguson's conditioning is better.
Yeah.
They're both unbelievable strikers. They both can end the fight quick or in the distance, whatever, striking wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ferguson's ground game, I think he's going to edge him out. So while I say 4th round submission, I can absolutely see him this go in the distance because they're both hungry. They both want to be champions.
So do you think it leans towards maybe Nurmagomedov if it goes the distance and like he tries to do what he does and he rides him out and grinds him, or do you think it's still
going Ferg all the way?
Going Ferg all the way. Okay, if I had to pick right now, I would probably go Khabib, maybe by decision. I give the stand up to Tony Ferguson, so I think Khabib is really going to try to get it down and neutralize Ferguson's boxing and stuff. So I'm leaning Khabib at the moment.
It's so well rounded.
Yeah,
it's hard to pick because they're just both. I don't know. They're good at everything.
Yeah, even like the so-called experts, the stuff that I listen to on podcasts and stuff. Everybody's just up in arms. They don't really know who to pick. I mean, this is so anticipated, this matchup. So I urge everybody, man, to order this pay-per-view at least for this fight. I mean, the main event's great, but I mean, this fight is awesome. So
I can tell you, looking through the expert sites, I think 70% of them have Khabib.
Oh yeah, okay.
By decision. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm feeling too. That's his MO. We'll see, man. That's I can't wait, man. So, and all right, we got the main event, the welterweight championship, Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I actually rewatched this fight today, kind of in preparation for this talk, and I picked Stephen Thompson the first go round, and this I think I'm gonna switch my pick, man. I think I'm gonna go Tyron Woodley. I think he. I think it was Chael Sonnen that was saying that basically since they both recently fought each other, it's who can implement the changes that need to be made. And I think it's more suited to Tyron Woodley. I think if he can do what he did in the 1st and the 4th, he can get him down. And, I mean, I was watching Wonderboy on his back, and he didn't really have much, And I'm thinking if I just don't know how, other than Tyron Woodley caught that kick. I don't know if he could shoot in on Wonderboy because Wonderboy is so elusive. That's my only question is how's he going to get it to the ground. But if he does, I think Tyron Woodley can win this fight, and I'm leaning Tyron Woodley in the rematch at the moment. But I would love to see Wonderboy win, but I'm leaning Woodley.
I actually am taking Wonderboy in this fight via decision, and here's why. Woodley's got amazing knockout power. Amazing. But Wonderboy took every one of them shots. Now, he did go down, but he ate those shots. Woodley's a wrestler. His ground game is on point, and I read somewhere that he has been training with Sage Northcutt. Again, another unorthodox style.
Yeah.
To prepare for Wonderboy. But the Wonderboy's a point karate. He gets in, he scores, he gets out.
Right.
The thing that's making me pick him is Woodley's ground game is strong. And he had probably the deepest guillotine in the world set with his legs wrapped around him. And the end of that round, Wonderboy was on top.
Yeah.
Dropping points.
He even helped Woodley up at the end. That's amazing.
It's kind of weird because you see them on interviews together, and they're fine. They get along. I mean, they were on a show doing like MMA charades.
Yeah.
And then you see them separated, and it's weird. Wonderboy has no ill will. Like he says nothing bad. I've actually talked to him before, and he's probably one of the most pleasant people. And I remember his one interview. They were together, and Woodley was telling him he feels like he thinks he's entitled. And kind of the rebuttal was, they offered me to fight and I took it. And truth be told, Woodley's not the guy to let the fight go when there was no clear winner. It was a majority draw. So really, that fight happened, but it was like practice.
Right.
Somebody has to win. I think it's going to go to distance again. I don't think either one of them is going to allow themselves to get into a point where this fight ends early.
Yeah. Well, I was also watching. There's a few times that when Woodley would like rush in, do kind of like a couple combos, kind of rush in, and I feel like if Wonderboy can, like counter, like connect, man, with Woodley's power coming forward, and Wonderboy, if he can connect on him, but it seemed like the last fight, Woodley just he was just happy to stand back and keep his back to the cage, which, I mean, that's for Wonderboy, that limits Woodley's mobility, and he just can pick him off. So I think he needs to make those adjustments, and I just don't know if he will, but I feel like he can see that, and he knows what he did wrong. So that's why I'm going with Woodley at the moment. Who did you pick the first go round?
Wonderboy.
Wonderboy. So did I.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I saw in their records that to compare is they both fought Rory McDonald. Mm-hmm. And that's one of Woodley's losses, as to where Wonderboy did beat him.
Yeah.
But that was a while ago. I mean, they both evolved as fighters.
Right.
I just think what his style reminds me of? It reminds me of Michael Page from Bellator. The open stance, switching around, hands down.
Yeah.
Head popping. It just seems almost impossible to fight a guy like that. It's very confusing. But
yeah, it's been confusing for everybody, and for the most part, I felt like Woodley's done the best job of anybody to fight Wonderboy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think Wonderboy needs to do some more spinning stuff too, man. He caught him with a little spinning back kick. And I think, man, if he can do some stuff like that, it might catch. If he can catch Woodley on the exit and do, one of them spinning wheel kicks, man. Shit, like
they did point something out. I did see though when he would set when that front right foot plants, mm-hmm. He's throwing the front kick. Now I heard that on a YouTube review of the fight, and then I went back and watched the fight, and it was pretty accurate. So he's got a couple tells mm-hmm. about what he's throw. I just think he's like wiry. He's all over the place. And you're right, Woodley. If he's got to stay off the cage.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the part. I would like to say one thing in his favor though. While I did pick Wonderboy, I don't understand why when this guy goes into things they boo him consistently. He gets booed, and. Yeah, you don't have to like him as a fighter, but again, I give the man the respect because he is the champion.
Yeah.
And the way he got the belt in devastating fashion.
Well, so I had Robbie Lawler in that fight, and man, I was shocked. But
I think everybody had Robbie Lawler in that fight.
I love Robbie Lawler, but you know what? I will say one thing against Woodley. I like all the fighters, really. There's some shit that each fighter does that I don't like, but then for the most part, I like them all. You know what I mean? They're human. I do dumb shit too. But what I think Woodley, the reason I feel like a lot of people have some hatred towards him, it's not the race thing. As far as I'm concerned, it's not. I feel like it's when he won the belt, and it might be other fighters as well, but it's like they win the belt and they think, well, now I'm the fucking hot shit, and let me pick who I want to fight. But it seems like old school, you win the belt and you're the champ, so you take on all comers, and I'm the baddest man. I'll fight this guy, whoever you send at me. But it seems like they all want to pick and choose. I feel like it's the Conor McGregor effect, and it's kind of pissed me off a little because now everybody's like, well, I want to fight for the biggest money. Well, if that Woodley's like, I want to fight GSP or I want to fight Bisping, it's like, stay in your lane. It's like Conor McGregor fucked that up for everybody. Now everybody thinks they can go off and do all these things. So I feel like people think, well, dude, you just won the belt. It's like, fight the number one contender. Like if you're somebody like DJ Demetrius Johnson or somebody like that's been just tearing through your division, you know what I mean? Then
everybody.
You've already fought everybody. It's like, yeah, let me find something else to do. Let me find another task. Let me take on a 135 pounder or something. But I feel like a lot of people were rubbed wrong, and I don't think Woodley's ducking people. I honestly think he wants to get paid, and I got nothing against that, man. I would, if I had a chance to get paid, I would take that too. You know what I mean? But I feel like some people felt like he was. You talk about being entitled. I felt like he was like, well, I'm the champ. I chose Wonder Woman. It's like, okay, So I feel like he's got a little chip on his shoulder, and people don't like that. But
the nice thing, as good as this card is, and then as anticipated as this fight is, he's gonna get paid.
I hope
he's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
This isn't a little payday for him. This is big.
I mean, he's headlining it. Hopefully, I'm sure champions. I think they get pay-per-view points, so hopefully it does well. I want all fighters to get paid, man, because they don't. Everybody thinks they just get paid for that one night, but I mean, you got to think of all the shit that goes into it. It's not that they get paid for one night's work. I mean, they're in the gym every single day. They don't get paid for that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like when you train,
weight cuts.
Yeah, it's like, so I want these dudes to get paid. I love it when they see they're getting 300, 400, 500,000. I'm like, hell yeah, that's good. Good for them, man, because they entertain us with their health on the line, and I want everybody to get paid if they could.
It's like being a doctor. They get paid to do something that we can't do.
For sure, for sure.
And these guys, you got to be the right kind of person to be a UFC champion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is.
And I thought about this today, but I'm just throwing it out there, and this is just my crazy mind working. But would it be a biggest disaster ever if this fight ended in another draw?
Oh, my God.
The reason I say that, it's not that I wish it or anything, but with the new, I think Woodley probably would have won the first fight if the new 10-8 criteria was around, because I think maybe that first and the fourth round probably were both 10-8s
right
in their first fight. But I say that because I think there's going to be a lot more draws in fights, because with the 10-8s. If one guy has a 10-8 and then the other guy comes back and does real good the next two rounds, like especially in 3-round fights. So I'm wondering, like, man, what would happen if they fought to another draw? That would just be.
We'll have to make a 6-round fight. Like, they're gonna have to do something.
That would just be.
I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think.
No, I don't either, man. I just my mind thinks weird shit like that sometimes.
I never even thought of that, but you're right. That would be an absolute media frenzy.
That would be a disaster. That's like the Holly Holm Durandamy fight. I feel like Durandamy should have gotten a point taken, and that probably would have been a draw.
I was at that fight.
Yeah, I know. I saw some really cool pictures that you posted afterwards with Durandamy and Jim Miller. That's cool, man.
Got to meet Got to meet the GOAT, Anderson Silva. Very soft-spoken guy. I was surprised.
Did you get to take a picture with him or just meet him?
No. I got pictures with him. Okay. I even took a picture of, I know a bunch of people got it, and I ended up taking the best of the group. Cyborg was there at the hotel that night, and her and Jermaine squared up. They were smiling, just out of fun, like a face-off in front of the hotel.
I went to the Ultimate Fighter Season 23 finale, I believe it was, in Vegas. And Cyborg was literally maybe 4 people away from me. She's big, man. She's pretty big. You know, I was thinking, how in the hell is, even at 145, I was like, I mean, I don't know if I had to guess, man. She looked maybe 170. I don't know. I mean, she's big, man. She might even be bigger than that. I was like looking at her, I was like, damn, that's amazing, man. So
that's a girl right there.
Yeah,
she's great. I'll tell you, though, the late hits, from watching it being there, I'll tell you, the first one kind of seemed like it was in the middle of a flurry almost, and the bell rung and she just kept throwing. So I understand the warning. Yeah. The second one, though, looked like there was no punches thrown. The bell went off, and she just decided to tag her again. Yeah. Unfortunately, both the late hits look like they kind of buckled her a little bit.
Yeah,
because the bell rings, you're not defending anymore, and they were both clean shots.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, a foul's a foul, man. You know, like how many times do you have to be warned? But I don't know. I was just rooting for Holly because, you know, I'm more familiar with Holly. I've seen Joanne and me fight before, but, you know, obviously you want the you know, American hometown hero, you know, type of thing, and I was rooting for Holly.
I know for the website, the MMA Takeover, we every event we do a great debate portion where whatever the main event is, 2 guys, you know, that are picking opposite sides of the spectrum. Right. They write an article about why this one's going to win, and they write an article about why this one's going to win. I absolutely had Holly Holm picked.
Yeah.
For the fight, I just thought it was everything aligned up perfect. I thought it was her time to get back in the belt.
Yeah,
it's going to be wild though. I think when it comes in a little more into, because you got Holly, you got Jermaine, you got Cyborg, and now looking at Twitter and all the stuff going back and forth, you got Megan Anderson, who's technically holding the belt that Cyborg never lost.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like everybody doesn't want to fight Cyborg.
No.
I mean, I outweigh her by 100 pounds. I wouldn't want to fight Cyborg. So
yeah, me neither, man. But I was actually hoping they would open up a flyweight women's division as opposed to a what is that, bantamweight, you know, or featherweight. Sorry. Yeah, because I think they could have found more women, you know, and they could have drawn, you know, from both divisions, you know, from the 115 and the 135. But maybe in the future they will. So
I can tell you, there's a little tip. There's a women's fighter in New Jersey that I know that's a 145er. I think you're going to see in a couple years doing big things.
Okay. You going to drop us a name, or are you holding off?
Nah, I can tell you guys. She fights out of, I think her camp is actually in Pennsylvania. Jamie Driver. She lives actually near me, and phenomenal. Ground game's good.
Good.
Stand-up game is good, and she's new on the circuit. I just have a gut feeling that 3 years from now we're going to be doing one of these YouTube talks, and she's going to be involved in it.
Good deal, man. Well, everybody keep your eye out for Jamie Driver. And, man, thanks again for coming on, and appreciate the picks. And, you know, we'll see how it plays out, man. And I'm going to put a link in the description to the MMATakeover.com, and I'll put your Twitter handle in there, too, if people want to talk to you. I don't have a whole lot of subscribers, man, but I'm trying. So, thanks again.
I'll share it around. We can do this again anytime you want.
Okay, yeah, I'll hit you up, man. Maybe on another fight night or something. But
absolutely.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. And till next time, man. See you.
Take care.